Alright, here's our kit for today's bit of shooting. We have our 1847 Colt Walker revolver, 451 thousandths of an inch diameter soft lead balls, powder flask loaded with Pyrodex P, which is equivalent to triple FG. Charge measure, we've got it set to 60 grains for today. Inline capper, a tin of percussion caps, and bore butter. So we've got everything we need to get started here, and why don't we load her up? Alright, step number one. So we're going to pull her back to a half cock position. That allows us to rotate the cylinder as need be. Full cock is this position here. Half cock is here, which is also a safety because it can't be discharged if dropped. Of course, if it's down on the cap and it's dropped, it can accidentally discharge, and that of course would be rather unpleasant. Okay, first thing we're going to do, just because this has been cleaned and rather heavily oiled, is I'm going to cap up all the cylinders and just fire a cap through. This will make sure that the cylinders are, or I should say the nipples, are clear, and we won't have any hang fires when we go to charge the weapon and fire it. This also should explain the utility of the capper, which I'm not using and probably should be because my fingers are way too fat to easily place these caps. Yeah, that's going really sparklingly. But anyways, we will get this capped up, cleared, and proceed to load. These darn things are so tiny I can barely get them out of the tin. You can see doing this in a pinch has got to be an awful lot of fun. Alright, well there we go. Okay. Alright, next step is we're going to charge the cylinders. Put your finger over the end, tip it, open the valve, give it a shake, tip her up, and in goes your powder. Easy enough. Lead ball on top of the cylinder, rotate it to the loading position. Depress the ram until it's fully seated, and continue to do that a bunch. A little more close up. I know the lighting's pretty poor today. Powder in. Ball in position. Seat. Okay, we've got all the charges in place, all the balls run home. Now we will apply the bore butter, which acts as a sealant and a lubricant. Messy stuff, but works great. Always a good idea to bring a towel or rag or something with you when you're doing this type of shooting, because it is a little on the messy side. Okay, she's fully charged and ready to go. Let's do some shooting. All right, we've got our target set up. It's relatively close. Someone wanted to see how accurate it is. I'm kind of interested in seeing that myself, so it's only about 15 yards away. Oh, hang fire. Bad thing. We're going to want to wait on that. We're now loaded up with a full 60 grain charge, so it's gotten a little bit darker out. I think we may get some interesting muzzle flashes. Let's see what happens. We're ready to shoot. You notice the lever drops down with a heavy load. That's actually something Uberti built into this replica. It's a trait of the original. Recoil's heavy enough that it dislodges it. Apparently the early spring wasn't up to the task. Oh, that's a bad thing. See, another problem it causes when that drops down is it falls into the end of the cylinder. So when you go to cock and rotate the cylinder, it doesn't work. Another bad thing. Not overly impressive, but you know what? If you're on the business end of this puppy, I'm sure it's going to give you a little reason to think. As a matter of fact, why don't we see what it looks like from the business end? All right, now we mentioned the potential for intimidation if an officer happened to be pointing one of these in your general direction. Let's take a look and see just what that would be like. Once again, time to make some noise. Well, needless to say, by this point, I think a change of shorts would be in order.